Hello and welcome back to Top of the Line. I'm Nick Lynch.
Rocco Coppola along with you.
And today we will be doing an NBA playoffs preview, but first we have to get through the play-in tournament, which we will start off with that first. So the NBA play-in games in the Eastern Conference, the Chicago Bulls take care of the Atlanta Hawks at home, and the Philadelphia 76ers come back and beat the Miami Heat at home. And then over in the West, Sacramento beats Golden State, and the Lakers go on the road and defeat the New Orleans Pelicans.
I mean, yeah, the playing games, a couple of them interesting, a couple of them were just demolition. I mean, like, I look at what the Bulls just did to the Hawks. I didn't expect that. Did you?
No, I didn't either. I thought this was going to be the game that Trae Young actually was.
Trae had that little 5 minutes of fame, and now all of a sudden he's a Goomba who can't shoot the ball anymore.
The bad news for some teams, like the New Orleans Pelicans, Zion Williamson got injured late in the game and will not play their play-in tournament game against the Sacramento Kings. And then on the Eastern Conference side, the Miami Heat lose Jimmy Butler, and he is out for their next play-in game against Chicago.
And they also lost Terry Rozier, too.
Terry Rozier, yeah.
Two key pieces for that team. So, yeah, listen, I think the Kings dominated the Warriors. I kind of expected that. I didn't think Clay would drop 0 points, though.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah, all of a sudden he's not. Well, actually, we've seen this for some time now, but I didn't think he dropped 0 points. But, yeah, Kings and Bulls dominated. I think that's really all you could take away from those games. And the Lakers outlasted the Pelicans. You would imagine that the Kings would probably beat the Pelicans. And
I agree.
The Bulls are probably going to beat the Heat.
So we move on now to the NBA playoffs. As in the Western Conference, the 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder will play the winner of the Pelicans and Kings game in their play-in game. The Denver Nuggets will play the Los Angeles Lakers, the rematch of last season's Western Conference Finals. Minnesota and Phoenix, those two teams haven't really met in the playoffs a lot. The LA Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks, two teams who have met in the playoffs a lot, met up 4 times in the last 5 years. And then in the East, the Boston Celtics will play the winner of the Heat and the Chicago Bulls. The New York Knicks will play the Philadelphia 76ers, the Milwaukee Bucks and Indiana, and the Cleveland Cavaliers against the Orlando Magic. The Magic have their first playoff appearance since 2020 when we were in the bubble in Disney World.
And you were still in a little middle school era, so was I. Yeah, very enticing games. I think that these are just going to be fantastic games. I'm really looking forward to each and every one of them, and I think that I got my winners correct from when I was making my predictions. They were tough, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I had to pick one person to go out of the finals from the East, I think it would be the Boston Celtics. They ran away with the Eastern Conference. Like they basically clinched it in February.
I mean, yeah, it was over before it even started. And Boston, 64-18, I believe, was their record. Mm-hmm. I could be a game off or two, but yeah, Boston's been amazing all year. I think that there's just a lot of chemistry with that team. Do I think they're going to win the finals? No, I don't think they're going to get to the finals. I think they'll pull little Boston Celtics like usual. Jimmy Butler's not here to stop them, unfortunately, so see where that goes.
Who do you think is coming out of the West?
This was tough. I was split between the Wolves and the Nuggets, but this is difficult. I am going to edge with Joker and the Nuggets to make it out of the West. Yeah, I'm a big Wolves guy, though.
I think that's a smart pick with Denver because they have finals experience when last year they won it. So, yeah.
And in the Eastern Conference, I'm going orange and blue skies all the way. I'm going to go with the Knicks. Just got to keep a little blind faith out here.
Yeah, I know your New York Knicks. They're playing well. They have the 2 seed. I think they have a really good chance against Philly.
Got to welcome the 76ers at the Garden, so we'll see how they handle. Hopefully all goes well.
So now we will talk about non-NBA basketball as Team USA have announced their basketball roster for the Olympic Games in Paris coming in July. LeBron James and Steph Curry headline the roster. So what do you think about the team? Well, I mean, there's high expectations, but I think it's going to be...
you expect to win the gold medal every year, regardless of who's on your team. You're the United States of America. I mean, do we really expect anything else? I, for one, don't watch the Olympics. I really could care less about them. But, I mean, yeah, is there really anything else that you got to talk about with this? Like, the Olympics, USA, gold medal, it's just kind of synonymous. I'd imagine LeBron's going to get MVP just because he's LeBron. They'll give him all the awards like usual.
Anthony Edwards will make his first Olympic appearance this summer from the Minnesota Timberwolves, and yeah, I think that's a good selection. And then Kawhi Leonard got the 12th man in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 12th man in on the roster after there has been some discussion about a ton of other players that should deserve that 12th spot, but they decided to go with Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, I think fantastic picks. Can't wait to watch them.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is it for us on the NBA here, but up next is the NFL with me and Ben on top of the line. Well, we are less than a week from the 2024 NFL Draft, and our top picks are coming your way. I'm Nick Lynch.
And I'm Ben Heltzer.
And today we'll be giving you our official predictions for the top 5 picks in the NFL Draft, as well as a major piece of free agency news, so let's get into it. So the major piece of free agency news is that Stefon Diggs is heading to the Houston Texans. Major upgrade for Houston, and I think they could be a competitor in the AFC this year.
100%. I mean, there's so much talent on that team, both sides of the ball, and not only so much talent, but so much young talent. Obviously, Stefon Diggs, isn't young, but you have C.J. Stroud, you have Will Anderson, you have Nico Collins, Tank Dell. Like, there's so much star power on that team. I would not be surprised if they get to the Super Bowl, even in C.J. Stroud's second year. So I think Stefon Diggs is going to do great things. Obviously, as a Bills fan, it sucks losing him, but at the same time, like, he just didn't show up for us when it mattered. So I hope he can do that for Houston. But for us, at least recently, all he would do was just complain on Twitter in the offseason and do well early and then just kind of fizzle out. So, like, it sucks that we lost him, but at the same time, I think we'll do fine without him. And I hope that he could, do for Houston what he couldn't do for us.
I agree. Like, if you mix a ton of young players in there with an older, experienced player, it somehow works out, I think. And that's going to be the key for the Houston Texans. I think they're definitely going to win the AFC South. I don't know about AFC Championship range, but I think they're going to win a playoff game and get to the divisional round.
100%, especially like what you said with Diggs as like kind of a mentor for the younger receivers. I think that receiving core is one of the best in the league, if not the best, and they should be just fine heading into the season. Yeah,
but the problem is the AFC South is also going to get more competitive with the Colts. They have a bright future with Anthony Richardson. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are still good. They're not like...
Yeah, no, they are. They just didn't play up to their full potential last year, but I'm sure they'll be back this year, and we'll just have to see what happens. But that division should be very fun to watch.
I agree. So now we will give our 2024 mock draft, our top 5 picks. And for number 1 overall for the Chicago Bears, I think everyone saw it coming. We have decided to go with Caleb Williams, quarterback out of USC.
Yeah, we picked Caleb. I think everyone picks Caleb. I think the Bears have made it very clear after trading Fields that they were going to go for Caleb. It just makes sense. He's an insane prospect, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do with the Chicago team. I think with him on the team, obviously they got Keenan Allen and a few more guys in free agency. And, the NFC North is tough with the Packers and the Lions, but I'm sure that they'll be competing for the division title.
I agree. So for the number 2 overall pick, we went with quarterback Jaden Daniels going to the Washington Commanders out of LSU. And I think there could be a better option that Washington could pick. But with Jaden Daniels, he's a Heisman winner. I think that will kind of, bring out the Commanders more. And I think make them more well-known. And, yeah, I think it's going to work out, though, for Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I actually agree. I think there's definitely other routes that they could go down. They could go the Drake May route. They could go the wide receiver route if they really wanted to. But I think if you have this early of a pick, you need to go after a franchise guy. And I think Jaden Daniels is a great fit for the Commanders, and I think that he could be the guy there. So I think they'll take him. It's what I would have done, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do. And so moving right along, for our third pick, we've decided to go with quarterback Drake May out of UNC to the New England Patriots. And, so that's what we decided to go with. Nick, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so the Patriots were open to trading that number 3 pick. I don't think they are. I think they're going to stay right where they are at number 3. And I agree. I think with Drake May, he was the starting quarterback on UNC for 2 years, and that's a long time in college football, especially at an ACC school like that. And I think with Drake May, he is going to be a very good quarterback in his career. Even though UNC isn't known for football, I think May has kind of changed that a little bit, and I think he could build the Patriots back up.
Yeah, 100%. He made North Carolina into somewhat of a competitive football school.
Yeah.
And I think that, with the right coaching, with the right, mentorship, I think that Drake May could turn into the guy in New England.
I wouldn't say Tom Brady, but
No, I wouldn't say that either. But he could be better than Mac Jones.
yes, I definitely agree. So for the 4th overall pick, we have gone with Marvin Harrison, wide receiver out of Ohio State, to the Arizona Cardinals. The wide receiver, I feel like, is the missing piece for Arizona on their offense, especially because they've had a rough couple of years with wide receivers. DeAndre Hopkins has left, Larry Fitzgerald has retired. They've also had other wide receiver issues along the way, and I think this is going to be a good pick for them.
Yeah, 100%. They just need that solid wide receiver 1. Kyler Murray has been struggling recently, and they tried D-Hop, they tried Hollywood, but neither of those guys are really great fits for the offense. I think Marvin Harrison is going to be the perfect guy for Kyler Murray to really get him back on his feet. And I think that while Arizona probably won't do well this season, they'll probably get last place again in the division, I do think that it's going to be a step up for them, and it's just something to build off of. And I think that Harrison's going to have a great season there.
Yeah, it's steps to success. It's all about
that. 100%.
So for the 5th overall pick, it goes to the Los Angeles Chargers, and they will go with Malik Neighbors, another wide receiver taken in the draft out of LSU.
Yeah, and originally this wasn't the route I was going to go, but after, losing Mike Williams, losing Keenan Allen, it just makes the most sense to take a receiver, obviously, to replace him. I thought before that, when they had their 2 receivers still, I thought they were going to take Brock Bowers, tight end. But obviously they have to take a receiver. Malik Neighbors is an amazing talent. Romo Dunze is there, who they could grab, but I think both of those guys are going to be great regardless. And again, it's all about helping out your quarterback, and I think that Justin Herbert is going to thrive with either of those guys to throw to.
Yeah, I mean, the Chargers, they've had a rough offseason with wide receivers, losing Keenan Allen and losing Mike Williams. But, yeah, Malik Neighbors is going to be a good receiver.
100%. Every season, as of recently, just felt disappointing for the Chargers. So I think with either of those guys, I think it'll be Neighbors, but doesn't matter who it is. I think that offense will be back to their true form. And I think that, obviously, I don't think they're going to compete with the Chiefs, but they could easily sneak into a wild card spot and maybe win a playoff game.
I agree. I think the Chargers just want to get that bad taste out of their mouth from last season.
Yeah, so just a quick recap of our draft. Caleb Williams going number 1 overall. Then we have Jaden Daniels, and then Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr., and then Malik Neighbors. But I guess we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we are out of time on the NFL today. But when we come back, Marco and Andrew will be talking about the Premier League. So stay right here on Top of the Line.
Hello, I'm Marco Baldino.
And I'm Andrew Mirzaaghasi.
And we will be covering the Champions League quarterfinals. So let's get straight into Real Madrid versus Man City.
The first leg was a pretty entertaining game. 6 goals scored in total, and it was a tie, 3-3. Honestly, I kind of like seeing Man City coming with a comeback. Sadly, we did let one of the goals go, which then led to a tie. But it was a pretty entertaining game overall.
This was a great game. It had many goals, like many fantastic goals, and definitely the player of the game was Phil Foden, and arguably I think he's definitely better than Bellingham.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely a player to watch and really one of the best youngsters right now.
Yeah, he was definitely very good during this game. So then we have the second leg, which also led to a tie, 1-1. Not many goals scored, obviously, but it did go to penalties, though.
So I watched the 90 minutes, and I just couldn't understand from City how they didn't finish the game in 90 minutes. Like, I feel like they dominated that game, like, in the 90 minutes, but they couldn't score another goal. And I feel like they outplayed Real Madrid, but I don't get how they couldn't finish it.
Yeah, I didn't understand either. I felt like they could have won, but there were like many attempts during that second leg that they could have scored, but no. Even with additional time, they just went to penalties. So, in which they lost.
Yeah, they lost, and sadly for you, but yeah, Bernardo Silva tried to go down the middle, obviously didn't work. The goalkeeper stood his ground.
Yep.
And Kovacic just his penalty was saved too.
I know it was pretty unfortunate that Man City is just eliminated now, but we still have high hopes for the Premier League at least.
For the Premier League, yes. You guys still got a good chance.
Hey, at least we're not the only ones that got eliminated, because with Arsenal versus Bayern, for the first leg, it was a tie 2-2, in which Saka had a pretty impressive kick between two Bayern players. I thought it was really impressive, especially. But then you had Kane took a penalty shot, and Arsenal would score, making it a tie for them. So that was pretty impressive. And then in the second leg, what happened was that in that game, both of them want the trophy, obviously.
Yeah, in the second leg, both of these teams are trying to win a trophy this year. Bayern Munich are definitely not going to win the league. Arsenal probably not going to win the league. So they're trying to at least win a trophy this year. Try to win the Champions League or like make an upset this year.
In which Bayern did, it was 1-0.
Yeah, just 1-0. I mean, I feel like both of the teams were just like really defensive and stuff like that. But Bayern Munich come away with the win.
Yep, thanks to Kimmich.
Yep.
We made it 1-0, and because of that, Arsenal is gone. Also eliminated as well. PSG versus Barcelona. The first leg really surprised me because Barcelona 3-2. Mbappe did not score in this game, so that makes it more shocking to me that I thought he would at least score one, but he didn't. So and surprisingly, Barcelona won that round 3-2. But then when it went to the second leg, I wasn't that shocked because PSG won and basically embarrassed Barcelona.
Yeah, but it was that red card that like cost Barcelona the whole game.
It really did.
If that red card didn't happen, I feel like Barcelona would have definitely won that game. Instead, they were down a player, and that's what led to PSG coming back and gaining momentum and scoring those goals.
Yeah.
Mbappe, being the hero and helping them come back.
Yep, 2 goals he scored. Something happened during that first game. He didn't like it, so he wanted to improve on it. And thus, he scored 2 goals for PSG, and Barcelona is now gone. So, on to our next game. Atletico Madrid versus Dortmund.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a game I feel like you should still watch, even though it might not be that exciting. But so for the first leg, Atletico struck twice, dominant first half. Then in the second half, it was very different. Dortmund, I feel like, were coming back and were being much stronger, scoring 1 goal, which ended 2-1 for Atletico Madrid. Then the second leg was definitely much different from the first leg. More goals, more chances, and a different winner. So Dortmund would win 4-2 in this game. I feel like Dortmund definitely deserved this win, even though Atletico had several chances to score more goals.
I just had fear that Dortmund would have actually won against Atletico Madrid just because, like you said, Atletico Madrid had many chances, but they were unsuccessful with those chances, and Dortmund advances to the semifinal.
Exactly. And now we got our semifinal predictions. Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich and Dortmund versus PSG. Who do you got for Real Madrid versus Bayern?
Now, that is a pretty tough decision as I feel like it would be very close. I feel like they would end up tying the first leg. I feel like it would be like a Real Madrid versus Man City situation where they will both tie in the leg. So it really depends on penalties. That's what I'm going for. But I feel like Bayern would win in that.
Oh wow. Well, I feel like it's pretty obvious to choose Real Madrid because it's a dominant Real Madrid versus a struggling Bayern this season. So I think I have to go with Real Madrid, just winning it easily.
So what about Dortmund versus PSG? Because I think the answer is just obvious to me.
Well, here I think Dortmund's gonna upset PSG because I feel like Dortmund's got a strong defense that could handle Mbappe and their attack. So I got Dortmund in this game.
That's pretty interesting. I'm going with PSG just because, of course, they have Mbappe. And they also have, I forgot what his name. He also scored in the other game as well. That he scored. And I feel like that PSG would win. So that's my prediction.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. Thanks for watching. Tune in next week for a recap of NFL and the NBA basketball games and the continuing coverage of soccer. All of this and more on the next episode of Top of the Line.